So when I hear people say we are Lakota, I think one thing that we need to remember is that yes, we have our successes, but also we have failures. And I think in order for us to be successful, we have to see our failures and congratulate ourselves in failing, because that means that we're going to learn to be successful through those failures.
Next, results regarding matters of diversity, were somewhat murky, as the rating for meeting the needs of a culturally and academically diverse student population dropped somewhat, and meeting the needs of a diverse population ranked lower than other priorities that were tested, indicating that it is an area that may warrant more exploration.
So I was kind of surprised to find with the diversity needs among other races, the percentages.
And I am the current Black Student Union president for Lakota East. And I am also the president of the Women's Empowerment Club, as well as the vice president of student government, as well as the vice president for JSA. I had a question about how students are going to learn about African-American history without understanding the basic fundamentals of critical race theory, which is prohibited in the state of Ohio. The current education system limits the Black experience to the Black struggle by only educating students about the bad things that are associated with the Black community, such as slavery, Jim Crow, the Civil Rights Movement, lynchings, and the KKK. Critical race theory allows students to learn more about the stories associated with African-American success. So though the topic is controversial, open dialogue in the classroom, including discussions on critical race theory, racism, and white supremacy, implies a level of honesty.
There's a celebration there, and to admit that we have areas of opportunity. And that is a good example to set for our children. I think We Are Lakota is yes, we have successes as Lakota School District, and there are many successes out there, but we also need to learn from our failures so we can be better. When we are Lakota, we need to also relevate or revel in our failures so that we know that we are going to be successful the next time and learn and be more knowledgeable going forward.
We're going to do short closing comments here, if that's all right with you, and we'll start with Mrs. Bodie.
Okay. Right, so critical race theory. Critical race theory is a toxic philosophy that is poisoning and destroying the mind and souls of our children. Terms like diversity, inclusion, cultural responsiveness, equity, cultural awareness, as defined and used by the promoters of critical race theory, are all designed to replace concepts like personal responsibility, self-determination. Their teachings are designed to confuse and discredit rational thinking and to effectively question the concept of objective truth. The parents who see CRT in the district take it very seriously, and so should we. The question of whether critical race theory does or does not exist in our district, or to what extent it does, deserves attention. I believe this board should commit to an honest and unambiguous effort to assess and evaluate this issue, and to recognize the need to remove the administration from the process, that they should remain as uninvolved as possible.
Being accommodating, but operating business as usual. And just as importantly, that the board recognize the need to utilize people and entities that have not
just an understanding of CRT, but a clear incentive to discover it. With this in mind, I move that the board, in recognition of the valid concerns of parents of the district who see critical race theory as a threat to their children, and their valid concerns, that the administration's position is that those concerns are unwarranted, vote to or discuss as a board, acknowledge the dispute exists, agree to address it, and recognize the conflict of interest that exists when the superintendent or any group of administrators are charged with resolving the dispute, including being involved in the hiring of any third parties that would be looking into it. Thank you.
We have a motion on the floor. I'm hoping the board all listened to it. Is there a second to the motion? Hearing none, the motion fails. Thank you for those closing comments, Mrs. Bodie.